I've been surprised how these photographs have captured everything about Antarctic expeditions. The comradeship, of course, when you've got lots of men going down. And whilst it was quite rigorous, and they were sometimes, of course, frightened and hungry, but what these expeditions also shows, they were having a great time. These fellows were going down there, enjoying what they were doing, and I think that really comes across. If you know the whole story of the whole of the Shackleton expedition, for me, this is the one I love, and this is the team actually on Elephant Island. And before that, what you have to remember is it was a huge expedition just getting down to Antarctica. Then they overwintered, they lost their ship, which must have been unbelievably traumatic. Then they struggled, and finally they got to Elephant Island. And of course, this was way before telephone, satellite phones, or any rescue whatsoever. So if they didn't get there, they were their own rescue. So it was fantastic they got to Elephant Island. But of course, by getting to Elephant Island, nobody knew they were there. So again, they had to get a boat. They rebuilt one of the whaling boats. And from there, Shackleton sailed across the Southern Ocean in this tiny little boat called the James Caird, and sailed to South Georgia. And again, they didn't have any little motors. They had to navigate across this amazing sea and hit South Georgia. And if they missed it, that would have been the end of it. But they hit South Georgia. They didn't have any ropes or climbing equipment. They hit South Georgia, and then they had to finally cross South Georgia, across these glaciers and mountains, finally getting into the whaling station. And getting the rescue for the men. And they finally got a rescue boat, went down and saved every single man. They didn't lose one man in all that time. And to this day, it's by far, for me anyway, the most brilliant ever expedition executed. Well, of course, they were the pioneers. I mean, we would be classed as adventurers now, not explorers. And they were true explorers. They were going right into the outback. When they went down there, their map was blank. So they were going completely into the unknown. So for us, we know psychologically what's there. We know what mountains are there. We know the heights. We know the effect of cold weather on our bodies, our diet. All these things are really to the thanks of these pioneers. And it's 100 years ago, and when you see what they did 100 years ago compared to some of our equipment, I mean, if you look at just a simple thing such as the sledge, man-hauling the sledge, the actual sledge, the weight of the sledge was heavier than my entire sledge of equipment, notwithstanding all the things that they took. So that's technology for you, lightweight equipment and all the things that we have to help us. So when you look back on these things, I mean, those were real men.